Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out Do You Hear What I Hear by Home Free. This is the first Home Free video I've done in a while. Very much looking forward to getting back into analyzing this amazing group with, of course, bass Tim Faust, who I've done an interview with, full-length 2-hour interview for my channel. Check that out here. And Tim's also been featured in a number of the Bass Gang songs, namely Hooked on a Feeling, and he had a little cameo in We Don't Talk About Bruno. So I'll include links to those as well. Otherwise, let's get into it, guys. I'm sure you know what I do on this channel by now. If you don't, this is a reaction and analysis, so I will be pausing primarily to talk about vocal technique, as well as some of the arrangement choices and other a cappella elements that I'd like to point out. Please do like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and if I'm enhancing your listening experience, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Let's get into some Home Free. Okay, so we got a very cool video setting in this huge ice structure. Where did they film this? This is fascinating. And some very, very cool vocal percussion, you know, like pretty minimal, but just sounds that you don't hear all the time coming from Rupp here. Really, really cool. So there's breathing in there. There's a little bit of hi-hat-like sounds. There's like a pop, kind of like a snare, but not the kind of traditional snare you hear in vocal percussion. Look at Rob grooving, keeping tempo over there on the right. Like touching his thigh. E. It's just a fifth, but we're an E something. E major. Before we get into Tim, so this bit they were doing an E, essentially E major, but we didn't get that major third until a bit later, so it was an E something, E on the bass, and then, you know, the next repetition, the next bar essentially, next two bars, then they stack a harmony, and the next two bars again they stack a harmony until the full E major is highlighted using all members of the group. Here comes the third. Chris, right? Chris Rupp, older member of the group. There's your 5.
Said the night wind to the little lamb, do you see what I see?
Oh, I do know this song.
Way up in the sky, little lamb.
I have heard this song before. It's certainly not their version of it, but I have heard this song before. So Tim, it's really nice when we get Tim starting out, and as much as I love his bass, like that's an amazing quality of his voice, it is always nice to hear him sing in a higher, lighter mechanism as well, singing up in the baritone or even tenor range, which he can do so comfortably. Also, all mms on this whole intro. I've talked extensively about mms and their blending. Is a great vowel for blending. There's not a lot of extra high harmonic content to create noise or to create a harsh sound. It's a very soft sound that blends well, and also the closed mouth position actually is really good and healthy for vocal phonation. So you can usually produce a nice, healthy tone on the a nice stable tone, maybe more so than someone might be able to do on an open vowel. And so that both of those elements contribute to just a very even, blended, consistent, kind of welcoming sound. It's a really great place to start with an ensemble.
Said the night wind to the little land.
This is just middle voice for Tim, between E and G sharp, 3.
Do you see what I see?
So that's up to an E4. So that actually is quite high for a bass voice, really.
Do you see what I see?
And he has a nice glottal attack. I on that E4 to get nice vocal fold closure up there. He keeps a very light mechanism, which is very impressive because to sing an E4 as a bass, usually you need to recruit a lot of vocal fold closure to essentially avoid voice cracking. If you keep it too light up there, your voice is very liable to crack up into your falsetto. And voice crack's not a dangerous thing. It's essentially a defense mechanism where if you have too much pressure on the full mass of your vocal folds, they will release part of those vocal folds and you'll flip up into your falsetto. That's all a voice crack is. It's good that the voice cracks when necessary. But Tim maintains a pure chest voice connection all the way up to that E4, which, like I said, is high for a bass. You wouldn't think so listening to him. He makes it sound easy. If you're a true bass voice, especially untrained, try to comfortably float your way up to an E4 in chest voice. Not so easy.
Do you see what I see?
Much more comfortable for Austin and Rob, who are natural tenors.
Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb.
And Tim keeping it very intimate, soft, breathy, even putting a little bit of vibrato there at the very end of that phrase.
Way up in the sky, little lamb. Do you see what I see?
Chris is taking over the bass here.
Do you see what I see? A star, a star.
Oh, this is Pre-Chance. Yeah? Group that Home Free Pre-Chance, I believe. Chris Adams' brother. Do I have that right? This is actually before I really started listening to them.
Do you see what I see?
Nice low E's though.
A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite.
Austin going full star, putting on that full country twang. Real nice. Get a nice, like, essentially a big cymbal hit from Rupp on the vocal percussion, which actually serves as a really nice kind of transitionary sound into a new section. I use it all the time in my electronic production stuff.
Do you see what I see? A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite.
Okay, that melody, I was like, why does that sound so familiar? That melody, star, da 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 da, is from the where I've heard it is the We Are the World. I think both the original and the newer one. And I think Michael Jackson sings it in the original one. I can't quite remember, but that melody, da 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 da, We Are the World, for sure. That's where it was ringing a bell.
A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite.
Also in this chorus, oh yeah, we're going back again. What's up? We got, remember, it was all ms for the first basically minute of the song. And then in this chorus, they open up to an ah, and I think they go through a number of vowels, but a pretty radical contrast to the ms that we heard for the first part of the song.
See what I see. A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite. With a tail as big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy.
this isn't super low for Tim, but it still sounds great. Dum, dum, dum. And then the drums, that snare, that's that snare that we're used to from Rupp, right? That really crisp, punchy snare. That in combination with Tim's bass really kind of brings us to the home free I'm used to, at least. Those two, working together. And that's how every good a cappella group does it. You've got to structure your bass in coordination with the vocal percussion. They really work well.
Big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy.
Nice harmonies between Chris and Rob here. Also cool to hear, I believe, is Chris baritone or tenor? I actually am unfamiliar. They're obviously singing the same notes here. Excuse me. Rob is very much a tenor. It's always cool to hear, Tim singing a line in the same range as then Rob singing the line, because you hear the same pitches sung at the same frequency with the same rhythms by two totally different voices. And it's really cool to hear how those voices approach the same vocal range, especially when it's high for one voice and, mid, super easy for another voice. We get a little dissonance there. I think we get all three. It's 5, 6, 7 of the E major, but we get a D natural in there though. Hold up.
Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear?
It sounds like a high baritone, low tenor maybe, but has access to low E's, so that's dope.
Through the sky, shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear?
Easy high E though. Also using that using that glottal attack instead of high, it's a harsher attack, but it really helps get the vocal folds together. Super good technique to use for high belting, high chest voice, to really get those vocal folds together. Because like I said, if they're not coming together properly, you will probably crack into falsetto.
Hear a song, hear what I hear, what I hear, a song, high above the trees with a voice as big as the sea, with a
Good Lord, is that down to an A flat 1 for Tim in chest? Yeah, he's freakish. Also, this moving bass line is really nice. It's a lot more movement than we've got in the rest of the song.
a song, high above the trees with a voice as big as the sea.
Yeah, really nice low A flat, very pure chest voice from Tim.
A voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea.
And their production Home Free does opt for a very processed kind of sound. Everything very finely tuned and crisp, which is standard for modern a cappella music, but Home Free especially, I feel like, really polishes the sound afterwards. So Tim's voice essentially just sounds like a subwoofer, because they have done a lot they will boost the bass frequencies, they'll record super close mic, and they'll tamper some of the higher frequencies that give it that more vocal quality. So it really does sound more instrumental. Also, the way he's singing it, of course, intentionally is like, dum, 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 dum. So he's already singing it more like a bass guitar or some kind of bass instrument. That, with the audio engineering done to the sounds afterwards, makes it really sound like a subwoofer. And especially on that low A flat, it's like just bass frequency.
He's with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy.
So even there, when he's just doing dum 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 dum, you can still tell the way it's edited afterwards. They are opting for a more instrumental sound. You can do a lot of that vocally. You can get it as far as you can, which is Tim is doing. He's really singing it well to prepare them for that. But the final editing, just polishing it, making it sound even more instrumental than it would naturally.
Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know?
All right, so they're actually adding a lot in this section. We have a lot more movement from the drums. We have echoing essentially happening in the. We'll have the lead melody, and then we'll have people echoing melody. We have added harmonies. We've got more movement in the bass. This is like actually pretty significantly different from the last verse.
Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? In your palace warm, mighty king.
I rarely have heard Austin do anything in falsetto. What did he do there? But something.
In your palace warm, mighty.
Yeah, the D5 there. So tenor high D. That would probably be about the very upper limit. If I don't even know if he could belt that high in pure chest voice. But high D, obviously a lighter mechanism, and does a nice little riff down.
In your palace warm, mighty king.
Oh, he slips into it. On that note I just kind of highlighted there, he actually switches into chest voice. Of course, the engineering is in such a way so it doesn't sound much louder. It would be much louder. And it sounds so far away in the mix that it's also not loud or intrusive. But yeah, he definitely switches into chest voice on the way down there.
In your palace warm, mighty king.
You can hear the cry and the sound of ha, ha, ha. That's another way to get vocal fold closure. Putting a kind of cry in the sound. My vocal fold teacher would go, cry, cry, cry. I'm like, oh, singing really high notes. Hilarious.
In your palace warm, mighty king, do you know what I know? A child.
C sharp 2 from Tim. Child. There it is.
A child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him.
Oh, this is really nice. Also, you know, Tim has, if he wants it, he can put so much power and resonance in his low notes. We've heard him do this on countless occasions, so it's always interesting. I mean, they've intentionally made his voice less resonant in the higher partials. They're making it cut less. Tim's low notes, like Tim is absolutely the kind of low bass that could sing like sacred repertoire, like the basso profundo stuff, because he has naturally a very low voice, and it's has continued to gain power as it's matured. And so now there's a lot of bass in the sound, but there's also a lot of cut in the sound, which is perfect for a choral setting. He could absolutely sing like the Rachmaninoff stuff down to like low B flat. I have no question. I would love to hear it.
Child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Let us.
Nice line from Austin there. Bring him silver and gold. Just like a nice repetition of the text. Yeah, keeping it fun, keeping it interesting.
Bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold.
Yo, and a big growl from Tim. An E1 growl. Oh my God. Wait, hold up. It's been a long time. I don't use these very often anymore, but this is a pit viper moment. So sick. Been working on growls a little. I really have not done any growling. What's amazing is how long he can hold that growl. That's something I just simply cannot do yet. Because growl is mostly air. That's the thing about growls. And the reason it sounds so good is because it's so bassy. Because there's no vocal fold closure, really. It's like all false fold. And so you get no high harmonic content in the sound. You get no cut. It is all bass frequency. So growls work really, really well in a studio setting or an amplified setting. They work absolutely like garbage in a live acoustic setting with no amplification. Garbage, because they're not loud. Like if I go back here and go, you probably can't hear that at all. Do the same thing. Now you can probably hear a lot of bass in the sound. It has to be really close mic'd because it's not a loud phonation. All to say, that was epic. Let's hear that again.
Let us bring him silver and
yeah, he just sustains that. Also, the line leading down into it, you kind of know a low note's coming, and then he gives it to us.
him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold.
Some pretty cool vocal sounds coming there from the harmonies. I don't know who's doing it. Oh, it's Austin. Nice. This is a very, very cool section. Rob, they're just like adding voices here and there, building it up. Very cool. Also, you'll notice there's no bass right now. We're all the way up to E3. That's as low as it goes. 2 octaves above what we just heard from Tim. There it is, E2. So Tim was chilling. It was Chris. It was Chris doing the E3s. Tim was waiting to come in. That's a cool chord progression. Hold up. So D down to B. So we get this flat 7, or dominant 7, on that D natural if we're in E major, and then down to the B, which is the 5. But you don't expect that D natural at all. It sounds odd, but very cool. Listen to how crunchy that D is. Dum dum dum. Wait. Someone just... Was that a B0 growl? We're gonna go back and listen to this. Also, I love Austin. Coming in hot on those G sharp 4 belts. No, it's another E1. Someone's doing an E. It must be Tim on a growl again, right? Although, truly, you don't need a bass voice to growl an E1. You don't need a bass voice to subharmonic super low. You might need to be a bass to subharmonic in E1, but certainly not growl, certainly not inhale, right? Certainly not vocal fry. You know, any voice type can get down there. I think Tim goes from an E1 growl to a B2 chest. To what I see. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I love it. Let me try it again. Listen to what I see. Something like that. That's what it sounds to me like he's doing. I think so. Someone's doing an E1. Pray for peace, people everywhere. Austin up to a mixed belt or nicely or a strong falsetto E4. E5. Pray for peace, people everywhere. Listen to what I say. The child sleeping in the night. C2s from Tim. There's a lot happening. I feel like I could really go on and on and on, but at some point we gotta let the video roll. The child sleeping in the night. He will bring us goodness and light. Another A flat 1 chest from Tim. And a high A from Austin. What chord is that? Sleeping in the night. He will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light. God, what am I hearing in there? You know what? I'm not even going to bother trying to pick that chord apart. Something complicated. The child, sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light. Good Lord, are they getting back into another groove section? I thought that was the end for sure. Just a nice down section, Rob taking the lead, very chill background parts, nicely blended. Some suspensions, right? Us goodness and light. I like that one. I think it's 6-5. 7-6. Will bring us goodness and light. It's so rare, actually, now that I'm thinking about that, for a leading tone in E major. For this note, it wants to go Ti-do, Ti-do. It goes Ti-la. What? You never hear that. The leading tone not leading up. Crazy. Bring us goodness and light. Wild. He will bring us goodness and light. Austin doing the John Cena. Can't see me. Okay. I was like, surely they're not going to do another entire minute-long groove at the end. Nice. So they all end on an ah vowel on light. We get a nice from Adam Rupp to finish. And yeah, in that little breakdown section there was one added element at least that Rob was doing that I don't think was happening in the first one. That one. Oh, and that one. That must be... See, there's that voice crack. Need better vocal fold closure. I think the that bit, that what I was just talking about, Rob comes in, and then I think Chris comes in and does that next part. That's Rob. I couldn't see who was lip syncing, but I think it was Chris.
Thanks everyone for watching our arrangement of Do You Hear What I Hear?
Your arrangement.
This guy.
Yeah.
We were bearing the bitter cold of Minnesota, and
look at Austin with the hair pulled back.
Even though it was freezing outside.
Go check out that sweet ice castle. Where is it? Eden Prairie?
Yeah, it moves around every year.
Oh,
cool.
Oh,
And be sure to check us also out on tour, because we are all over the country all the time, and we would love to see you guys come hear us do songs like that live.
and we can't do these videos without the support of all of y'all on Patreon. If you haven't heard of Patreon yet, please go search Home Free, check out what we're
back
doing
when Patreon was new.
Help us make more cool stuff like this.
Yes, and most importantly, right now, what you can do to support us the most is go down there and click subscribe. Bye, guys.
That's right. Go subscribe to Home Free.
Bye.
Bye.
Surely you guys... Oh, I've already done a video for their Holy Night. Oh, Holy Night. I'll leave that here. Bing. All right, there it is. Do you hear what I hear? This is one of my fave Home Free projects. I really like this one. I think they did a lot of really cool, fun stuff. We got to hear a lot more bass than I was expecting. Usually you don't hear the crazy bass stuff on the Christmas songs, but we got one huge E1 growl from Tim and another shorter one. A lot of A-flat ones in chest, a lot of C-sharp 2s in chest, some B1s in chest. We got to hear just a lot of really cool vocal stuff, like stuff like that. We got to hear Austin with some big high belts and singing in falsetto, which I legitimately don't think I've ever heard. Really cool. This was fun to take a little trip down memory lane for Home Free. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new about this song. As always, please leave a like and comment. That's amazing, so helpful. Please subscribe if you're not. I know a lot of you wonderful people that watch my videos still have not subscribed. Takes 1 second. Click that subscribe button. It's very helpful. Hit the bell, and of course, if I helped you, advance your knowledge and understanding and appreciation of Home Free, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Probably a lot of Christmas stuff coming out soon. So, peace.